Hello everyone. Thank you for joining in Document Freedom Day 2025 celebration hosted in Nepal by the Nepalese LibreOffice community in support from Ask Buddy, Virendra Open Source Club BOSC, Kathmandu University Open Source Community KUOSC, and Nepal Open Source Community NOS. Altogether, these open source communities from across Nepal are definitely the most active open source communities in Nepal, working independently at their own for the general good of open source culture in Nepal through different programs and together we when it comes to LibreOffice activities. So Nepalese LibreOffice community exists together with them. All thanks to them, the inclusive community style for engagement is proving itself stronger, and we hope to survive the longest. In the meantime, I would like to thanks the global community of LibreOffice and the parent entity behind the project, the Document Foundation itself, helping the local community sustain and grow across Nepal. On the special occasion of the day, beyond celebrating Software Freedom Day, we are celebrating together the Document Freedom Day 2025 with you all. Thank you for joining in, even on a very short notice, and we do plan to hold in person events in the coming days. Before we start the session today, I would like to go with a round of introduction first. We have different community representatives from across Nepal. They are all together helping make the day for the community, helping the community grow in Nepal to grow beyond just a few people and helping the LibreOffice community as well. So first we would go with a short and quick introduction starting myself. I will pass the tone to Nosk and they will pass down accordingly. Hi everyone, I am Suraj Atrai, liaison for the LibreOffice community, and I'm an open source advocate and a community builder. Other than that, I'm a cloud engineer. I do belong to Askberry community as well. So I would like to pass next to Nosk. So Satya or Aditya, if you are here, please carry on.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Aditya Binod Yadav, and I am a computer engineering student at Nepal College of Information Technology, here representing NOX, Nepal Open Source Club, an open community dedicating to promoting free and open source software in Nepal. Since 2008, we have been working passionately to advance FOSS. We are based on Kathmandu, but not limited to it, since our community includes alumni and active contributors worldwide, with Nepal College of Information Technology as our main supporter. We are a platform for tech enthusiasts to collaborate and learn. And so, talking about our event, our one of the flagship event is Software Freedom Day. Where last year we hosted Nepal's first unique open source project exhibition, where projects like LibreOffice were also showcased. And Suraj Dai brought some extra fun with an awesome paper fly competition. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Would you like to pass it to Kathmandu Open Source Community? I guess
Ah,
Swini is
yes,
already
Kathmandu.
here with us.
Yep.
Swini, next to you.
Hi. Okay, so hi everybody. I'm Ashwini, the coordinator of Assam University Open Source Community, KUSC. We are a student-led initiative dedicated to promoting free and open source principles at Assam University and in Nepal. So KUSC has been actively supporting the Document Foundation and LibreOffice in various initiatives, notably LibreOffice localization, to make open source tools more accessible. We are proud to be a community partner advocating for open standards and documentation. So let's celebrate this document freedom day together. Thank you.
Thank you, Swini. If we have Aviskar here, we got Aviskar here. Seems he is not here. So if we have Achyut from Virendra Open Source Club, are you here, Achyut? Okay, so they are not present today. At least not at this moment because they have some other activities and they will join us over the minutes. And we can definitely continue the session today. So Thank you everyone for your nice and warm introduction about yourself and about the community and what it is doing in Nepal. So that was so awesome to hear from you all. I hope our participants also enjoyed uh, and got informed about the community activities that you guys are carrying, not just at your campus venue, but connecting students from Kathmandu and over all over the Nepal through different online and offline activities. So now we have in this call Mr. Mike Saunders, who has already joined the call. Mr. Saunders is an amazing person and all-rounder geek. He's an he's a all-time free and open source software fan and a Linux journalist. He works for the Document Foundation, the nonprofit behind LibreOffice project, as a marketing and community coordinator. He once, at a point of his life, even developed his own operating system called macOS. Would definitely like to hear more on that, Mike. So, Mike, how are you doing today? The floor is all yours. Feel free to continue your session as well. Over to you.
Hello, everybody. Thanks, Suraj, for that warm introduction. Thanks, Aditya and Ashwini as well, for all your work. Thanks to everybody for helping to spread free and open source software in Nepal. And because this is a community effort as well, we have things like the Document Foundation and lots of other organizations in the world trying to spread the word about free and open source software. But it's people like you guys doing the work all over the planet, informing people about the importance of free and open source software and LibreOffice, of course, but many other things as well. So, yeah, huge thanks to you all. Huge thanks to Suraj for doing a great job of building the community in Nepal, because I'm here over in Germany, and some of my other colleagues at the Document Foundation are in Italy and Brazil and lots of other places around the world. But we can only do some local things in the areas that we know, so and the languages that we know. So it's our international communities all over the world doing the localization, doing the translation, doing the marketing. You guys know what's important in Nepal. You guys know what people are talking about, what software are governments using, what software are businesses using. Probably a lot of Microsoft, like everywhere, but it's thanks to you that free and open source software is growing and flourishing as well. So excellent work. And yeah, as Suraj mentioned, it is Document Freedom Day today. So what exactly does this mean? Document freedom. So that doesn't sound super exciting. Yeah, documents, just things we work with. But it's actually really, really, really important, because in a perfect world, people would be using free and open source software everywhere. But just as important as that is that people are using open standards. People are saving their data in formats so that we can access it in the future. The big question at the moment: who owns your data? Yeah, what do we have? Like 30 people in the call at the moment. So I guess we're all using lots of different tools, lots of different software. More and more, we're using things in the cloud as well. What people call the cloud, really just some of the other people's computers. So you work on something, you work on a document, you work on an image, yeah, you save it. Where exactly is that data? Where is that document? Where is that file? You might save it on your own computer, but if you've got some cloud thing set up as well, linked to some cloud storage, then it's in the cloud. Who controls that data? What's happening to it? Do you have the right to your data? Yeah. Is it now the copyright of somebody else? So these are really, really important topics that are coming up for everybody. Yeah. The world is changing. The world political situation is changing, and you might save your document in the cloud, think, oh, that's nice. But what if it's in a country that then stops you accessing your data, or sells your data, or does something bad? These are really, really big topics, and people and organizations and governments and companies around the world are starting to ask now, where is our data? Yeah, does our data belong to us? The second point here: can you access your data forever? Yeah, you save a document today, in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, 50 years' time. Seems a long time away, but what happens in 50 years' time? Can you access that data, or is it all closed in a strange format and that's it, gone? Oof. So This is why open standards are super, super, super important. Just as important as free and open source software. That's really nice, but we've got to save our data in open standards so that we have control over it, we have access to it, and in the future, nobody can stop us accessing it as well. So that's super important. But I'll also talk a little bit today, a little bit later, about what's happening with LibreOffice. So, as Suraj mentioned, I work for the Document Foundation, the small non-profit entity behind LibreOffice. We are about 15 people. So the Document Foundation is quite small, but the LibreOffice community is hundreds and hundreds of people, like you guys. So, yeah. So documents in the past were paper printed things. We stored them on shelves, yeah. But there's been a big change. Analog documents in the past, the focus was on printed documents, yeah, and in having the visual aspect, making them look really, really nice, yeah. And you created a document for others to read, and that was it. You made a document, you wrote it by hand, or maybe printed it out and sent it to somebody to read. But digital documents, like we use today, it's more about exchange of contents. I send you a document, you edit it, you update it, you send it back to me, we collaborate. So what's more important now is the content rather than the visual aspects. How it looks, we can fix that later. We can pay a graphic designer. But the content, we are creating content to share it with others to add their value as well. So digital documents, we're all doing more and more with digital documents. These are the future. But a digital document can only be accessed by people who can only be used by people who have access to the decoder, so to the software that can read the document. So unless it's a plain text file, this super.txt, which everything in the world can read, even macOS, then you need a decoder. You need software that can open the file. If it's a .doc file from Microsoft Office, you can't just open that in a plain text editor. It's all a weird binary form. It's all in a complicated form. So if you need this decoder to open the document, then this decoder should be open as well, so that your document can be readable and interpretable for as long as possible, and ideally forever. That's why we need standards. We need standards. We need real standards and open standards. And we know this because there are standards all around us. Yeah. These are some standards used, especially in the European Union, but also around the world as well. But look at the picture on the left here. People are doing work, and you've got standards for how tools work, standards for helmets as well. The guy on the left is wearing a helmet, but there are standards for these to make sure they work properly, that they are safe, they are not just made of a tiny bit of plastic. Yeah, there are standards for things in your household as well, household appliances, so that they work together. There are standards for that lady on the right. There are standards for clothings as well. So we know standards. They're around everywhere to make things work together, to make sure things are of a certain quality as well. So standards are all around us all the time and are important, because imagine a world without standards. Products might not work as expected. They might be incompatible with other equipment. They could be dangerous. Yeah. Customers, the fourth point here, customers will be restricted to one manufacturer or supplier. This is what we see it's happening in the software world as well. Yeah. Customers restricted to one manufacturer or supplier. So you have to go to one company to get your software, so, or any other products. And as I mentioned, when the decoder of a document format, the thing that reads the document format, when that is proprietary, your own ideas are at the mercy of the owner of the decoder. So, yep, you can't do anything later. You may lose your rights to access and read your own documents in the future. Yeah, if the decoder is proprietary, so you have your documents stored in a special format, yeah, and you need a special decoder, a special piece of software to read that document, and then the company that makes that decoder closes in 5 years' time, goes bankrupt. runs out of money, then what happens? Then you are in a lot of trouble because the software stops working over a few years. It doesn't work with later operating systems. And then again, 5, 10, 50 years time, nobody can access those documents, or at least not without running some weird virtual machines to use old software. It's a horrible, horrible mess. So, and this is what happens. Here's a screenshot of Microsoft 365. Yeah, well, okay, not really. This is an inscription of Ceres the Great near the Van Fortress, all written in a mixture of languages as well. But it's like, okay, we can understand some of this, but it takes a lot of work to understand. And then the big data owners as well. So, as I said at the start, where is your data? Yeah. Oh, I have control over my data, people think. Ah, do you? Your data, is it in Microsoft servers? Is it in Amazon data centers? Is it in Google's data centers? Is it in Facebook's data centers? Yeah. More and more, there are a few large companies um, collecting more and more data, and people often don't know it, but they actually have a lot of control over people's data as well. So often people don't know that actually their data is being stored by these large data owners who are getting more and more control as well. And as an indication of just how much control these companies have, there's the surface of the Earth. Yeah, we all know the layout of the Earth. But when we adjust for population, we can see the different countries of the world have different sizes. So you can see, yeah, India and China there with huge populations are much bigger when we stretch the map than in the normal map. So as a proportion of population. And then, but look at this export of software licenses. So these are the countries in the world and political countries in the world, but then stretched to show the export of software licenses. And you can see, obviously, the USA there. But the pink one is Ireland. Oh, it's Great Britain and actually Great Britain as well. But a lot of software, Microsoft is registered in Ireland as well for the European market. So the world, yeah, we're all spread out across the world, but actually, who has control over software? Who is exporting the licenses? This is what the world actually looks like. Yeah, you can't see many countries there outside of the US and a few countries in Europe. So that's something to be aware of. And the import of software licenses, again, is a bit different. Then the US shrinks, and you can see various countries around the world. And so there are big differences between where we are getting our software and who is using the software. So the maps show that a huge number of people in the world are actually really, really dependent on a very, very small number of companies and countries. And yeah, I don't want to go into politics, but you see, the world is always changing. And is it a good idea to have your data, your documents, your software all controlled by just a few companies in a few countries? Because we don't know what will happen to those companies and countries in a few years. So that's why the questions enabling the data commons. How can we regain control of our data? We want to decide who to share it with, under which rules and for what purpose. Yeah, in a democratic way. So if data is a monopoly of a few, as I mentioned, if only a few countries and companies control our data, then the collective intelligence is lost. Yeah, we're not sharing. We're not open if just a few companies and countries control the data. So we need open standards. Yeah, we need open standards when there is full competition in a market for products and services. Yeah, we need to make sure that everybody can compete as well. We need to make sure that technology is available to all players, everybody, software developers, users on equal terms, providing no advantages based on ownership of rights or definition of the technology. So it shouldn't matter where you are, how much money you have. We should have these equal rights as well. And the format that we talk about, there are many, many open formats. So I don't want to just say the open document format, but the one that we use in LibreOffice, but also in other suites as well. I think AbiWord supports open document format, Calligra. Microsoft Office supports open document format. A lot of people don't know that, but Microsoft Office, Microsoft 365, supports open document format as well. So obviously, Microsoft wants to keep people using their own formats, but ODF is growing. It's growing a lot. So Microsoft supports it as well. And this is a fully open, fully standardized format which offers freedom of choice. Because it's nice when people use LibreOffice, but people should be able to use the software that we want. We don't want to force anybody to use LibreOffice. So, but let's use open formats. Let's use the open document format for all of the reasons I mentioned, having control over your data, but also then people can use the software that they want. Yeah. So if I use LibreOffice, but you use Microsoft Office, and one of our friends or colleagues uses Calligra, as long as we are all using the open standard, we can share our documents with very few compatibility problems, hopefully, and then we can share and use the tools that we want without being locked in to any one specific tool. So ODF, open document format, it's simple, solid, robust, and secure. It's been around for 20 years now. It started as the OpenOffice format. It's consistent across operating systems. If you open a document, an ODF document on Linux, on Windows, on macOS, on Haiku, on NetBSD, it will look the same. On your Android phone, on your tablet computer, the iPhone, it should look the same, and it will look the same. It's consistent. Yeah, it's based on existing ISO, International Standards Organization standards. Not just a few people have said this is a standard, but this is a real international standard. It's predictable, it's consistent. We know how it works. And it's human readable by normal users. It's ODF is an XML file. So it's all zipped up and compressed together if you make a document, an ODF document, but you can unzip it, take out the XML, open it in a plain text editor, and then you can kind of see what's going on. Yeah, you need to be a bit technical to understand how XML works with the tags, but you can actually see, okay, here's the XML. It says here is a paragraph, here is a table, here is metadata as well. So even normal normal users can open the document and look at it if you want to get some data out. And yeah, it's independent from a single product. Anyone can use open document format. Interoperable that we mentioned. It's neutral, as we mentioned as well. It doesn't force you to adopt any specific product. Again, from my point of view, it's great if people use LibreOffice, but nobody should be forced to do anything, I think. So, yeah, use what you want. But using open document format means that people can use what they want. So, and it's perennial, it stays forever as well. And how does the standard work? Standards need to be maintained. Standards need to be updated. Yeah, you can make a standard, but then new technology comes along. Yeah, so people propose new features in open document format, support for a new image format, support for a new table format, a new chart format. People propose them, then developers and specification maintainers draft and comment on it, put things to public consultation. The committee votes on things, makes a formal vote, and then publishes it. So we are on open document format version 1.4 at the moment, and it keeps evolving, but staying backward compatible as well. Mike, as a quick answer to the question from Nirajan, yes, Microsoft. Let me just open the chat there. I think Nirajan asks, "Can LibreOffice documents be opened in Microsoft Office too?" Yes, they can. So LibreOffice can save documents in Microsoft special formats, DocX or Doc. Yeah, which is not a great idea because those formats have some problems, as I'll mention. But yeah, if you save a document in LibreOffice in its native, in this open document format, in .odt, open document text, or ODS, open document spreadsheet, then Microsoft Office can open them as well. So yeah, Microsoft Office supports open document format, and that's why it's important that we all use open document format, because then Microsoft has to compete with us. It's not that we have to run around trying to chase Microsoft and make LibreOffice work with Microsoft. No, Microsoft should support open document format, which it does, but it should support it even better so that we all use the same format. So, yeah, to answer Neeraj question, LibreOffice documents can be opened in Microsoft Office, which is good because Microsoft's own formats, the doc and docx, are kind of problematic because Microsoft talks about having infinite backward compatibility, or this is how a lot of people see it. So you can open all of your past documents, but a lot of these .doc documents have binary and proprietary blobs in them. So inside the document, I think, okay, it's a .doc or a .docx like XML, but it's got lots of weird, complicated stuff in it, which makes it hard for other software to read. So this is the situation with Microsoft's formats. They have all this complicated stuff inside that makes it really difficult for other applications to work with. So Microsoft can say, look, we are backward compatible, but even when you're saving new documents in Microsoft Office format, they often include this backward compatibility stuff, which stops it being a really open standard. So it's very, very complicated and very messy with Microsoft formats. Use open document format. And there's the difference between intraoperability, where on the left, look at the blue circle in the middle, you have one dominant provider controlling access, formats, and interfaces. So you have one company controlling everything, who can access data, how the file formats work, the interfaces, the specification, and then the yellow bits, like other providers' products, are trying to somehow work together, and it's really, really difficult. What's better is in real interoperability on the right. In the middle, open standards, and then the yellow balls, any provider's product. So any providers all around, they can all work together, and there's no big dominant provider controlling access. So I've talked about the benefits of interoperability. Yeah, we have greater choice of products if we're using open standards. Manufacturers can benefit from the economies of scale of a wider market. Manufacturers can say, right, this is the open format we're using, instead of, oh, we need to support this and that, and version 2 of this format, this old proprietary format. No, just support open document format or other open standards. And then, yeah, focus on economies of scale, make lots and lots of products using these open formats. And we can send, by the way, these slides around to participants in the call today as well. So I'll speak to Suraj about that. But yeah, because I'm going through some of the slides quite quickly, but I'll make sure that you have access to the slides as well. So the situation with proprietary software, we know that the majority of governments, enterprises, and users rely on proprietary software for desktop productivity and cloud storage of data, even if it's very confidential. And this puts citizens' personal data, including a lot of extremely confidential information, like health data, at risk. And this is not just our opinion or the opinion of open source and free software supporters, but in the European Union, the courts of justice and EU data protection supervisors, like the groups in the EU Parliament overseeing these things, are saying this is bad, this is risky. Yeah, using these closed formats, using proprietary software, using these cloud storage. Yeah, this is putting a lot of data at risk. So it's not just our opinion. So we need to use open standards and free and open source software as well, like LibreOffice, like Linux, like GIMP, like Thunderbird, like a million other things we can name. There are so many free and open source software tools that I'm sure you all know about. But if we switch to free and open source software for desktop productivity and cloud storage, then governments regain control of citizens' personal data and can manage them according to their confidentiality. And switching from free and open source software would include moving from proprietary to standard document formats, with a significant advantage in terms of interoperability, as I mentioned. And I'll finish this part of the talk with a real life example. It sounds nice what I've been saying, but it's really happening out there and for a while. Here is a screenshot from the website of the United Kingdom government. So I'm originally from the United Kingdom. I live in Germany, but I'm from the UK. And this website, gov.uk, the UK government requires documents to be in open document format. So there's a whole site, a whole section of the UK government's website talking about using open document formats, ODF, in organizations. So, and if you look closely underneath, this was from 2018. So the UK government has been doing this for a while. If you go to the UK government website and you need to download a document, it could be a form to fill in for some bureaucratic thing, something you need to apply for. In any case, if you need a document from the UK government, it will be available in open document format. That's fantastic. Yeah. So in many other websites for governments and local organizations around the world, they have .doc files and .xl files and things like this. But the UK government says all of our documents that citizens of the country need are available in ODF. So anybody can then choose the software they want to use. You are not forced to use Microsoft Office if you are in the United Kingdom. So that's fantastic news. Yeah. Lots of people still use Microsoft Office and 365 in the UK and in the UK government. Okay, not great, but that's up to them. But it means anybody, any citizen in the UK can get documents in an open format and then use the tools that they want. Buddy asks in the chat, if open document formats were a superhero, which villain would they fight? Microsoft Word's .docx or Google Docs auto formatting? That's a good question. Yeah, auto formatting. Word processors tend to do a lot of funny things with content, with things jumping around when editing. Not that LibreOffice is perfect there either, because a lot of the time people use word processors to make really, really complicated documents with layout, when they should probably be using a dedicated layout tool there, like Scribus in free and open source software. But yeah, it's a good question. So that's open document format, and the importance of open standards, the importance that we use open standards, that our governments do, that organizations, that companies. Yeah. So here on Document Freedom Day, this is what we're talking about. We celebrate this, the fact that we have these formats and these technologies, but celebrating is nice, but we want to encourage people to use them so that we have a world that's more free, that's more cooperative, where we are doing local things as well. Again, not just using some formats from 3 major countries in the world, but we're using formats that we can work on locally, that are available to everybody. And then I'll just talk a little bit now about what's happening in LibreOffice, because this is our main project at the Document Foundation. So I'm sure you know LibreOffice as well, but if not, for some reason, then it is a free and open source Office suite. It's the successor project to OpenOffice. So 20 years ago, OpenOffice was the big thing, and then OpenOffice went to the Apache Foundation, and in 2014, it had its last major update, and development has pretty much stopped since then. So, but LibreOffice is like the fork project that continued all the work. So a full Office suite with a word processor, a spreadsheet, a presentation tool. Saroj asks in the chat, does it provide PPT format too? Yes, LibreOffice has a presentation tool, which is actually the top one in the screenshot here. And so you can make presentations and you can save in PPT format, but that's Microsoft's own special semi-proprietary, complicated format that locks people into the Microsoft ecosystem. So, yep, LibreOffice supports PPT, yes, which is good because there are lots of PPT files out there. But in LibreOffice, it's recommended to use the ODF version, the Open Document version, which is ODP, Open Document Presentation. So that's important. Suraj says, yeah, that LibreOffice Impress, the presentation tool, has a lot of export options, and it's true. This is one thing where LibreOffice shines so much. You can save and import files in so many different formats, way more than Microsoft Office or Microsoft 365. So yeah, it supports PPT, but far better to use the open document format, as mentioned. Earlier last month, we released our last major release. So our version number, we moved to a year.month version number system. So 25.2 means our last major release was in February 2025. So we moved from having arbitrary like 7.6 version numbers. What does that mean, 7.6? It doesn't say anything. To a version number that tells the users how new or how old the software that they are using is. So every 6 months, we make a new major release of LibreOffice. And yes, this was our latest major release with big improvements to how comments are handled, change tracking, accessibility, theming support, dark mode support as well. A lot of people are using software in dark mode these days, understandably, but it's a bit difficult for an Office suite because what do? You're trying to show a document how it will look if it's printed out. So you have the interface in dark mode, like in this screenshot, with everything black and nice icons, but the page is white because that's what the pages are normally. But then you have this big white block in the middle of your dark mode user interface. So the LibreOffice design community is working on ideas for this. You can show the page in black, even though when you print it, the page is white. So it's not really the same, but it's better for your eyes if the page is also black in dark mode. So these are some of the difficult topics that the design team is working on. And in the chat, Neerajan says dark mode is a must, of course, but those stars are a cherry on top. Absolutely agree with you there. Yeah, the stars make a nice nighttime atmosphere when working on the software. So, as mentioned, LibreOffice is the leading free and open source office productivity suite. It's included in most Linux distros, most desktop Linux distributions, or at least it's made available in the package repositories. But LibreOffice is also an awesome worldwide community of hundreds of people working on the software, developers, documenters, people working in marketing, people working in design, as I mentioned, QA, bug fixing, bug reports, infrastructure. So the software is great, but the community is important as well, because you can have software with a lot of users, but if there is no community working on it, the software just sits there, and the software gets old. Then, if you've heard of bit rot, the software will just sit and get old. So it's important that we build and maintain the LibreOffice community so that we keep improving the software, we keep spreading the word about the software. And then behind it, as I mentioned before, that I work for, the Document Foundation is a non-profit foundation based in Germany with 15 people. And we're not the LibreOffice Foundation, even though we mostly work on LibreOffice, but our objective is promotion and development of Office software available for use by anyone. So that is LibreOffice, but we do some other things as well. This is not super exciting, but the Document Foundation is made of different bodies as well: the board of directors, the membership committee, the advisory board, and then the board of trustees as well. Over 200 people who are LibreOffice contributors, not just developers, but people who are translating, people involved in documentation, QA. Anybody who helps out in the LibreOffice project can join the Document Foundation as a member so that they can vote on things, get invited to come to the LibreOffice conference, which takes place once a year. So it's more of like the formal stuff here, the structure, the bureaucracy, but the Document Foundation has lots of different bodies and shared powers as well. Got a big cough here. The other thing we work on, as well as LibreOffice, is the Document Liberation Project. And this is like a sister project to LibreOffice. And this works on software libraries like these decoders that I mentioned to open files in many different formats. So a few days ago, somebody on social media was asking us, anybody actually, I need to open old files from Adobe PageMaker. Adobe PageMaker, okay, it's pretty old software, I think. But somebody had all these old PageMaker files, but didn't have the old software, couldn't open, was stuck. Yeah, saying I need to access my old Adobe PageMaker files, but I don't have Adobe PageMaker, or it won't work on my modern operating system. What can I do? Somebody came and said, LibreOffice is the solution. Thanks to the Document Liberation Project, LibreOffice can open PageMaker files. And ta-da! The problem was solved. Now that person replied on social media saying, thank you so much. Now I can open all of my old documents thanks to LibreOffice and the Document Liberation Project. The Document Foundation is funded almost entirely through donations. When people download LibreOffice, they have a little banner like shown here to encourage them to donate, but donations are purely optional. It's free and open source software. And in the application as well, once every 6 months, there is a little reminder saying you can donate to support us, because the donations are then used not just for TDF for our team, but for things like events. So we use we use these donations to then fund people like Suraj to organize and build the community in Nepal as well. So donations are used in many ways by us to grow the LibreOffice community, grow the project, bring new people into the project so that we have more contributions. Oh, excuse me for my cough. Here's the team at the Document Foundation. So again, there's just a small team. I'm there on the right. What's going on in the LibreOffice project? So if you want to join us, which would be great, we have regular calls, we have discussions on mailing lists, Telegram, IRC, and other channels. We're working on a new website design. We would love help for translating our new website as well into many languages. So if anybody wants to help us translate the new website into Nepali, please contact us and let us know, because we want to have the website, like the software, in as many languages as possible. I think LibreOffice is available in over 120 languages now, which covers something like 90% of the Earth's population, given the different spread of languages. So, but we always want more, yeah? More and more languages are brilliant as well. We have the New Generation project, LibreOffice New Generation, to get new and younger contributors involved as well, because lots of people have been in the project for many years, but we want new people, because young people, new contributors, bring new ideas, they bring new approaches, they bring new questions as well. How can we do things better? What can we change? How can we improve the software? How can we improve the tools that we use? How can we improve our communication? So we want new people in the project, and growing the international communities as well. So we have a community in Nepal, thanks to Suraj, Aditya, Ashwini, and others as well. We have LibreOffice and free and open source software and Linux communities in Nepal. We have LibreOffice communities in Japan, in Indonesia as well, in South America. But there are some areas where we don't have some. We have a bit of a community in India, but given how big India is, 1.3 billion people, we want to grow the Indian community as well. There are challenges to growing international communities when the countries are so big. In a country like India, it's very hard to get people together from all of the different states as well. There are so many different languages as well, although, a lot of people speak a common language, but it's hard to make a single community when you're in a really big country with lots of different states and areas and languages. But this is what we're working on. We want to build these communities in as many countries as possible. So, and what can you do for LibreOffice? So use the software first of all. Use LibreOffice. Use Open Document Format. Tell people about LibreOffice and Open Document Format. But there are many things you can help out with as well. And again, you don't need to be a developer. So we have a website called What Can I Do for LibreOffice, and it gives you some ideas, gives you some ways to contribute as well. So UX design, yeah, if you're interested in software design, UX, UI, then please join the LibreOffice project. We want your feedback, we want your ideas. And if you join our community, it's not just good for LibreOffice, it's good for you as well. You benefit from it because if you make a change to LibreOffice, if you improve something in LibreOffice's design or UX, that goes out then to millions, tens of millions of users. So you make a change to the user interface of LibreOffice or change to a dialog box to simplify it, great. We put that in the software, update the software, make a new version, it goes out to millions of people. Then you can put this on your, when you are applying for a job, on your CV, yeah, on your letter applying for a job. Oh, look, I am a contributor to LibreOffice. My work is used by millions of people around the world. So there are benefits for you as well for contributing to free and open source software projects like LibreOffice, because it's a nice thing to do. It helps to make the world a better place. This software we can all share, but it's great for you as well. You get experience, you learn new things, and then you can use it to in a future career. You say, I want to do a career in software development, UX, QA, technical writing, documentation. Join the LibreOffice project, get the experience, and then you can, when you are applying for a job, you can tell people, I have done this in LibreOffice. And there are many, many things to do in LibreOffice and most free software projects as well. I won't read everything here, but we have lots of meetings, infrastructure as well. You can do interviews with people. Again, doing things you can do in Nepal that I can't do here in Germany. There are things that you can do out there locally as well, knowing the country, the languages, all the other things that me and TDF can't do from a distance as well. And finally, a few photos from recent events. Of course, recent events for the last few years in Nepal as well. So again, big thanks to Suraj for organizing and running these events as well. I forget exactly which event this was, but I'm sure Suraj can remind us in a few minutes when I finish as well. But there's been so much activity in Nepal. This was more recently, I think this was a few months ago, was a competition. I can't remember if it was making templates or making, no, I think it was making CVs actually. But yeah, again, Suraj can remind me. But again, here in Nepal, for you guys there in Nepal, learning how to use LibreOffice, getting people to understand the software. It's so useful. It's so important as well, because a lot of people don't know LibreOffice exists, or they know about it but think, oh, I don't want to use that, or it's not compatible, or it's weird, it looks different. It's not that weird. It's not that different as well. Let's encourage people to try it, to use it as well. And this was the Software Freedom Day events. We have Document Freedom Day like today, but also Software Freedom Day, which is a bit broader and bigger. And again, another event organized over there, you guys in Nepal a couple of years ago. So fantastic work. It's great to see because, yeah, this is our calling. I think this is to make the world a better place. If we want to do the right thing, then again, stop just a few companies or countries completely dominating the world. Whatever you think about those countries, it's just not healthy to have just a few countries or companies dominating the world. Let's get free software out there. Let's get open standards out there as well. Get people using them. Then people can use what they want, but make people aware of them. And then keep our data in open formats so that we can access it in 5, 10, 20, 50 years as well. This is so important. We don't want to be locked in. And then yeah, join the projects, join the communities, because you can benefit so much as well, learning new things, meeting new people, um, developing your skills as well, building a skill set so that you can then apply for a job later on. Like, I started off over 20 years ago as a Linux journalist writing for Linux magazines. And it was because of all this writing about Linux. I was new to this, but I was using Linux and I started writing technical articles. And now, 20 years later, I'm doing marketing for free and open source software because I've learned a lot about how to write and how to talk and how to communicate. So, but it's by getting involved in free and open source software, you learn those things, you build up your skills, you have fun, you meet new people, and then you can put it, as I mentioned, on your CV as well, on a letter for a job, and say, I'm involved in these projects, I'm helping out, and it looks really good. So that's it from me. Thanks for listening, especially because I know it's a bit later for you guys in Nepal. So I think we can have a Q&A, but I'll hand over to Suraj first to, yeah, over to Suraj. But Suraj, can't hear you if you're talking. I can't see if you're talking, so. No, still can't hear you, I'm afraid. But maybe while Suraj is fixing his setup, if anybody has any questions about what I talked about, open document format, LibreOffice, or other things as well, macOS, if you want, my operating system, feel free to write your questions in the chat, and I will answer them. Because we have a little bit of time for that. I know Suraj wants to do something else as well. But yeah, if you have any questions, please write them in the chat and I will answer them happily. Nirajan says, tell us about macOS. Of course, I've put the link in the chat there. Um, it's a very, very, very simple operating system that I've been working on also for about the past 20 years in assembly language, so very low level language. It's more of a fun project to just play around and see how you can work low level with the computer as well. But you can't really use it for anything. It's just more of a technical toy. Siddhanta asks, how can we contribute to open source community? To whom should we connect? Yeah, good question. So I showed you some ways that you can contribute before, some of the different ways, like in documentation, design, marketing, translation as well, localization. But yeah, to whom should we connect? Connect to me is a good starting point. So I'm going to put my email address there in the chat, or for anybody who's just listening to the recording, mike.saunders@documentfoundation.org. But you can find me on the LibreOffice website. Contact me because I speak to a lot of new contributors as well, because it is often difficult. And that's why it's an important question. To whom should we connect? Because you think, okay, it's a big project with hundreds of people. How do I get started? Who do I talk to? Yeah, and do I just go on a mailing list? That's not very friendly to just join a mailing list. So, yeah, it's good to contact a person in the community and say, okay, please show me, what tools do you use, what communication channels do you use as well. So, anybody who wants to join, wants to contribute, email me, mike.saunders@documentfoundation.org, and then we can talk, we can have a call, or I can send links as well. And Suraj says also, yeah, CC Suraj at LibreOffice.org as well, because it's important to know who in the Nepalese community is active as well, so that we can coordinate that as well. It's nice for us to have people contributing, but so that Suraj knows, these people in Nepal want to contribute to LibreOffice and open source, then he can help to organize things as well. So, yep, contact me and I can help you to get started. Yes. Any other questions or thoughts? Otherwise, I'll hand over to Suraj if his microphone is working.
Hi, Mike.
Hello. Hello, Mohit. There was a bit of an echo there.
Am I audible?
There's a big echo. I'm not sure who's talking, actually. There's a lot of echo. Or was that Muna who was talking? I couldn't see, actually, but... Was that Muna who was talking? I'm sorry, I didn't see.
Sorry.
Yeah, from your microphone, Muna, there's a lot of echo, unfortunately. So, Nabeen in the chat says, I was looking at the translation site. It is looking quite good. Yeah, we use a tool called Weblate for translating LibreOffice, again, into over 120 languages around the world. So this helps translators to pull out individual strings in the software, like for the user interface as well. So all the different dialog boxes of LibreOffice and the buttons as well. Then you can translate the individual strings. So it breaks the job down into lots of small chunks. But the tool is also used to translate the website. And Nabin was looking at the localization project website. Yeah, that's that hopefully gives an overview of how it works and the tools we use as well. Yeah, Muna, feel free to write in the chat as well while Suraj sorts out his audio. But yeah, this is one of our challenges to help people to contribute. So you want to translate LibreOffice into Nepali, fantastic, but how do you get started with so many different tools and ways to communicate? One of our challenges is people want to communicate using many, many different tools. So you have some people want to be on Telegram, but a lot of people don't like Telegram. Some people want to use IRC, the good old plain text chat. Some people want to communicate via email. Some people want to use Slack and Discord. And so keeping everybody together is often difficult, but we bridge these communication channels so people can talk together. Muna asks a question in the chat. Can we use LibreOffice collaboratively, just like Google Docs or Microsoft Office? I usually prefer working together with documents with my friends. For the same reason, I have to rely on Google Docs or Microsoft Office 365. Is there any such feature? This is a good question. We don't have built-in collaborative editing at the moment. It is one of the big things missing in LibreOffice because I know how useful and important that is. There are some LibreOffice-based applications out there that run in web browsers like Google Docs. Let me type in their Collabora Office and Collabora code. This is an application based on LibreOffice from the LibreOffice ecosystem, from the companies around it, that provides collaborative editing. So very similar, open in a browser, work together with with friends and colleagues. So it exists. It's not from us, not from the Document Foundation, from our ecosystem, but we want to do this in LibreOffice, directly in LibreOffice ourselves. And we have an idea to do it. So inside the application, directly inside LibreOffice, you send a link to your friend, and then you work peer-to-peer on the same document, collaboratively editing. So then you don't even need a cloud and a web browser, but you have LibreOffice, I have LibreOffice, I have a document, I send you the link. via email, via Signal, via any channel. You click the link, you open it, the document in your version of LibreOffice, and we see what we are both doing. So this is something we are working on. Excuse me. It might take a while. It might take a while to implement that. So it is something we're missing. Of course, you can share documents back and forth, but I know it's something that's attractive to use things like Google Docs as well. Buddy asks, 10 years from now, or maybe further, do you think people still argue over which document format is best? Or will AI just write everything for us? What's your opinion on that? I don't think that many people are even arguing about which document format is best. The vast majority of people don't even know. They just use Microsoft's document formats because they think those are the standards. And they're kind of a standard in that everybody uses them, but they're not a real open standard. So most people have no idea. So arguing about them. Let's have that argument. Let's tell people about them and hope enough people then, like the UK government, the Taiwanese government, there are other examples, all use open document format, and people do as well. And then we don't need to have that argument. Then people can argue about the software they want to use. Is Microsoft Office better than LibreOffice? Is it better than that? Okay, whatever. But if at least we're all using the same format or the same standard, then at least we can get rid of that argument. And because it's not a very cool, exciting argument, it's just more about the making sure we have a good future for our documents and our data as well. Let's win that argument that open standards are the best. Let's win that argument, get that argument done, and then we can argue about more exciting things about which software has the cooler user interface as well. Will AI just write everything? I think when you look around on social media, you can see AI bots everywhere writing things anyway. So I don't know about that. We get emails to us in the LibreOffice project written obviously by ChatGPT and other things, and it's so easy to identify them that something is written by AI. So I'm not so sure about AI taking over the world. It can be really useful. AI can be extremely useful, but I think we will still be creating things ourselves for a long time to come. Siddhanta asks, back to the question of contributing, do we get guidance on how to work to contribute if we are fresh with no past experience? Yes, of course. That's why we are here. That's what I will I will do. If you contact me, let's set up a call or just talk by email. And then, I will guide you from the start. I will show you exactly what tools we use. You tell me exactly what you're interested in, if you are interested in design or marketing or documentation, and then I'll show you exactly, here's the tool we use. If you want to do documentation, go to this website here, you can download this. So I will give you the guidance, because in a big project like LibreOffice, you need guidance at the start. Gokul writes, from my understanding, open source projects generally have a small core team. Working among such a small team is really optimized, and due to the same reason, they usually don't accept new people. How can people view open source space as a career options? That's a good question. Yeah, a lot of open source projects do have small core teams that have been the same for a long period of time. So it can seem a bit difficult to get involved with such a small core team. And some of them can be not so welcoming to new people. That does happen. That's very true. And it's sad when that happens and the small core team just wants to stay as that small core team. So it's important that those core teams realize that the projects will not grow, will not survive unless new people come in, because we all get older and we all move on to different things as well. So you have to, as an open source project, you have to fight that a bit to stop saying, okay, we have our core team, we're doing what we want, because you stay the same. And so we could do that. Yeah, imagine LibreOffice stays the same forever. No, it needs to change. It needs new people. It needs new ideas. The world is changing. User interfaces are changing as well. Document formats are changing. So we need to encourage each other in open source projects to welcome new people as well. And this is why we have mentors in the Document Foundation. We have mentors to bring new people on board as well. So, and specifically there to make sure we don't just stay as a small closed team. And also, how can people view open source space as career options? There are lots and lots of jobs in open source because most companies, many companies use open source in one way or another. So look at Facebook, yeah, look at Google. Whatever you think about those companies, you might not like them necessarily, but they employ a lot of people working on open source software. So Microsoft as well, yeah. Historically, not the biggest fan of free and open source software, but Microsoft uses and develops a huge amount of free and open source software now. And some people are skeptical about that, understandably, but there are career options there. And then there are the Linux companies that are Canonical, SUSE, Red Hat, which is now IBM. But there are a lot of jobs in the open source space, more now than ever before. There are a lot of jobs where you can work on free and open source software. They are out there. You need to find them, but yeah, often you wouldn't even know until you look at the job description. Yeah, some developer role or documentation role, and then you look at the job description and it says we use Linux and we use Python, and then you look and think, it's actually open source software that we use in this job. Nijiran asks, are there any initiatives to increase LibreOffice adoption in educational institutions? Because if we open school books, we see step-by-step guides of using Microsoft Office packages. We get whole syllabus based on private, and proprietary software. Yeah, Nijiran, this is a big problem as well. Schools and universities want to prepare people for a future career, and they say, well, everybody uses Microsoft Office, so let's teach them how to use Microsoft Office. So you understand that perspective, but it's really not ideal because, again, it's forcing people, pushing people to use one piece of software from one company from one country. It's really, really, really too narrowly focused. One country, one company, one piece of software. It's not good internationally. So there are initiatives to do this, but they need to happen locally. So if you see this in Nepal, we at the Document Foundation can't really call up the Nepali Department of Education. Well, maybe we could, but I'm over here in Germany as well. So I could call the Nepalese Department of Education and say, hey guys, I've heard that you're using Microsoft Office, but it's better if local communities do it. So because you see these things. So Nirajan, if you can find some contact for, or start by talking to your local school. Why are we using course books that force us to use this Microsoft Office software that we have to pay for from one company in America? Why can't the course books, school books, show us how to use software that's available to everybody in the world for free? So raise awareness about that at the school first. Then I don't know how the political setup is in Nepal, but I think you have like local states as well, like smaller areas. And if they oversee the education institutions in that state of Nepal, find a contact with them, talk to them, go to them if they have an office and say, be very friendly, be very positive. Yeah, I see that our school books and materials are all showing Microsoft Office. Yeah, I understand that, but as mentioned, it's closing people in to use one piece of software from one company in one country. It's not good. We are Nepal. We should use international software that's available to everybody and not have to buy this software. So start at a local level, talk to the school. The school can't write new course books, but they can look at changing things. They can add pressure up as well. Talk to the school, talk to the your local state institution government as well. If you have contacts in higher up in the Nepalese government, then even better. But start locally, because then teachers will start to think about this. A lot of teachers don't think about it, but they'll be like, "Yeah, hang on, why are we forcing all of these students to use Microsoft Office? Like, we're not. We're far away. We're different country. We shouldn't have to force people to use this software from one company, one country. So Start on a local level, and then raise awareness, and then the awareness goes higher and higher. Um, the Moon asked, the world of document-related software programs are using AI aggressively. When can we expect open source model-enabled AI assistance as a feature in LibreOffice? It exists already, but it's not included by default. I'm going to put a link in the chat now for something called Local Writer. And there's a post there on our blog. So Local Writer is an extension for local generative AI using open source models that you can then use in LibreOffice. But this is an extension. This is not built into the software, because it's very difficult to do AI while respecting privacy, respecting users' data as well. It's a big challenge. So at the moment, we have no plans to put AI into LibreOffice because there are a lot of complications and problems with that. But we know that it's a feature and tools that a lot of people want to use. So we're happy to talk about it and encourage people to make extensions. So you can add AI into LibreOffice, but as an optional extension. But a lot of people are also concerned about it. Microsoft added Copilot to Microsoft 365, recently, kind of forcing everybody to use AI. So you start typing a document and then Copilot comes in and says, wow, let me help you with this, that. And a lot of people are saying, hang on a minute, what's happening with my data? Are you now sending my data somewhere to do all this AI processing? I don't want this. Just leave me alone to work on my documents, on my data. So that's there are lots of different opinions about AI, very strong opinions as well. It can be quite political. So we say inside LibreOffice, no plans to put AI, but we know it's useful for many people. So let's encourage extensions. People can develop AI extensions like the one that already exists, Local Writer. So you can use AI in LibreOffice, but you're not forced to do it. And it's not there by default. And then Suraj is connected with his phone now and his audio. So great stuff. So I hope I can answer all your questions satisfactorily. And then
Mike, if you have some additional time to share with us, I would like to proceed with the questions that were collected during the registration period.
yes, sure, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so many of the registrants are already present in the meeting today, but some of them couldn't be present. Yet their question was recorded in the Google Forms we rolled out. So I have one question. I have such question, and I would like to ask some of them.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the question asks, why public fund should be used for public code? What is EU doing to support the Document Foundation? They are asking about the European Union and what's it doing.
Yeah, there is a campaign, public money, public code. So you spend your taxes in, I guess, pretty much every country around the world. You spend your taxes, you give your taxes to the government. Then the government works on software for its own software as well. Then that software should be available. The code should be available to everybody. Why should you pay your taxes for government to make software that's closed, or to buy software again from a company in another country that doesn't benefit your own country as well? So public money, public code. If you are a taxpayer in your country, you pay your tax. That to make software, that software should be available to you and the other people in your country as well, because it's your taxpayers' money. The EU and the Document Foundation, the EU doesn't fund the Document Foundation, but the EU has open source program officers. The EU is very spread out. Yeah, the people sometimes think of the EU as like just one block, but the EU has a lot of different groups, often disagreeing. But there are movements inside the EU to promote open source as well. And open document formats as well. There are officers, there are campaign groups, there are politicians in the EU Parliament who stand in the EU Parliament and say we need public money, public code, open standards, free and open source software. So there are people inside the EU, groups and politicians campaigning for it. They don't fund the Document Foundation, and the bit of funding could be nice, but it's more important that they encourage countries in the EU to use free and open source software, public money, public code as well. That's It's nice if they give us some money, but then we add a few features to LibreOffice. That's kind of cool. But what's more important is that the groups inside the EU convince other countries. A lot of politicians, as I'm sure you guys all know, a lot of politicians really have no idea about technology at all. Yeah. And they're often older. They don't use technology themselves. They have no idea what open source is, what free software is, what Linux LibreOffice is. So um, it's important that those people in the EU and in local politics everywhere, in Nepal, in any country, the people who know about it talk to the other politicians as well and say to them, right, this is what we're doing and why we are doing it. Not just because of some nice thing, but for all of the reasons I mentioned in my talk, that we have our documents, that we control our documents. So advocacy, I would say, advocacy is the most important thing there.
So it's kind of over an hour already. So we would like to, maybe if you have any direct question, you can ask to Mike. But in the meantime, we may conclude the Q&A because we do have a cow quiz and we have t-shirts as the prizes. So that would be something you may not want to miss at any cost. So that's something exciting for you, and to all of those who has stayed till this moment at this call will definitely get a certificate of participation that you can definitely post over LinkedIn or any social media and promote or talk positive about the Document Freedom Day, because that's something not we usually see compared to Software Freedom Day celebration across the world. So this is something we need to promote, so that would be your great help. Okay, so any of you, if you have any direct question to ask Mike, then we would like to proceed with that question. But apart from that, we may switch to a different context. So if any of you have a voice, you can ask. Please feel free.
Yeah, feel free. Otherwise, you can contact me. I put my email address in the chat already, mike.saunders@documentfoundation.org, or contact Suraj and he can put us in contact as well. So I'm in marketing for LibreOffice and free software, so I can answer questions like I've been doing today, but I can also help you get involved in LibreOffice, connect you with other people as well. So yeah, feel free to contact me. And but yeah, thanks for turning up, because again, I know it's probably getting a bit late over in Nepal as well. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon here in Germany, and raining, so grey and raining. But yeah, thanks for being here, because it's so important that we learn about free and open source software and open document format. So I do appreciate it, listening to me talk about all these different things, and then going out and spreading the word as well. So tell people about these topics. Anybody, talk to friends, colleagues, family members, local governments, schools as well. Um, yeah, and really appreciate your support and work.